The only thing that sometimes is more painful than the discard itself is when the avoidant endlessly breadcrumbs you after. Breadcrumbing is when they're giving you little cues and clues, little hints that there still might be a chance, that they might regret the breakup, that they might miss you and want to get back together. It's little bits of hope, but no real substance. Every time that you are starting to heal, recover, and move on, there they are, tossing breadcrumbs your way. And it rips open the wound all over again. And you think that this time they really regret it and they want to fix what they broke. So when you push to have them recommit to the relationship, they're telling you, oh, I just need more time and space to work on myself. I'm just not ready yet. Oh, I just am so busy. I need time and space to heal. Or they just disappear and ghost altogether, only to reappear in the same manner down the road. Now, breadcrumbing can look like watching your social media stories, liking your posts, sending you random text messages, maybe a random funny meme, or I miss you, how you doing kind of text. Sometimes it can even be as extreme as spending time with you, acting as if you're back together, even hooking up. But then, whenever you press to have the relationship resumed, they're backing off. So why do they do this? Why do they reach out every time it feels like you're beginning to heal? Well, when they sense that they are losing you, it starts to feel safe. When it feels like you're moving on, there's no longer pressures on them, no longer pressures for them to give something of themselves, no longer pressures for emotional intimacy, vulnerability, commitment, none of that stuff. Now they can allow themselves to miss your validation. But that's ultimately what it's about. It is validation seeking. They're wanting your validation, your attention, your approval. Because when you take the bait, when you give them that validation and bite on those breadcrumbs, you're letting them know that you still want them, that you don't hate them, that you are still an available option. Now, the avoidant, regardless of whether they're a dismissive or a fearful avoidant, if they are breadcrumbing you, this is an insecure person. And it stems from their childhood and their childhood attachment wounds that cause fears around intimacy, vulnerability, things like that. But they also have a deep wound of shame. They feel unlovable and defective, so they rely heavily on external validation to feel better about themselves. In other words, they need to have people tell them that they're great, because without that approval, they don't know how to feel okay. So getting your validation, you being an available option, helps them feel better about themselves. Gives them that little dopamine rush, dopamine being the reward hormone, helps them feel good, helps them numb that shame and avoid the emotions they don't want to face. But just because it stems from their childhood and their wounds and their insecurities does not mean that you are obligated to validate them. You are not an option, and you don't have to allow yourself to be treated as such. Hold your boundaries. Boundaries are your limits of what you'll allow, what you won't allow, what you want, don't want, what you need, don't need, and what you'll subject yourself to. You can't control them, but you can control yourself. You can control your limits. And when you do hold a boundary, such as when you're being breadcrumbed, you're telling yourself a powerful message, whether you realize it or not. You're saying, I'm not an option and I won't allow myself to be an option. I can show up for myself. I respect myself. My feelings matter and I have my own back. Very powerful messages. But when you're not holding a boundary, you're unintentionally saying, hey, it's okay to string me along and treat me like an option. Not a good message to send yourself. Holding boundaries isn't easy, but it's a big part of healing and becoming more secure and having your own back. And that boundary can look like, hey, unless you're reaching out with a purpose to repair what it was that you broke and heal and really take accountability, then reaching out without a purpose like this doesn't work for me. So I ask you to please respect my space so I can heal and move on. And if they don't respect your boundary, if they continue to throw breadcrumbs your way, that's when you have to enforce your boundary. Block them. You do not have to allow that or enable it. It's not fun, But when you do it, you're sending yourself that powerful message because you don't have to be an option. And by blocking them, if you have to, or even just holding and communicating that boundary, you're telling them, no, it's not okay to treat someone else like an option. This behavior isn't okay, and I'm not going to allow it. It's a massive, massive act of self-respect. You don't deserve to be an option. You deserve to be the priority, and don't tell yourself otherwise.